good afternoon and welcome to the Turning Your Passion into Profits.
Hello everybody.
Sorry we're a little bit late. Ian is still working full time, so he popped home for lunch. So this is, rather than have what we had last week, which was trying to get him on live, it's easier when we, and it's nice.
Beside each other.
So we're going to jump straight into today's questions, and if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments below and we're happy to answer them.
Being interviewed by my wife is a new experience for me now, so it is like,
well, I'm glad you're taking it serious, because he came home and he, in a flap, like he was being interviewed by Gay Bourne or something. So
it
is,
like, you're important.
He's taking it serious.
You're almost up there with Oprah Winfrey now at this stage.
Okay, so we've got to crack on, because time is precious for everybody, especially when you're in business and working, and life is just hectic. So my first question to you, Ian, is how long have you been in business? And let's just address the word business first, because I know Ian, because I sleep with this client. I know the ins and outs, and I know every hang up he has, and I know one of them is your identification. So before we crack on about identification, okay, so you are now in business. Okay, this is a new word.
I find it hard to associate my, being an artist and my art with business, and I feel somehow that the two of them are not connected, but I know they are. And when somebody's, when you're using this word like about business, when it's in my art sense, I find it doesn't sit on my shoulders all that well, that way. So I don't know if anybody else associates with that, like when it comes to their businesses, that way, but it's just something.
I think it is common. I see it with clients all the time, and indeed I went through it myself. People used to say to me, "You're a great businesswoman," but I couldn't see myself as a businesswoman. So it's about your identification. I'm not going to go into a lesson here, but it is about what we identify. And I think you had the same hang up. We probably go down rabbit holes here, but that's fine. You had the same hang up with calling yourself an artist. So tell us that story.
Okay, well look, to tell you about how I went into business in that respect, I started back painting after a huge gap of 17 years, and I painted all through my teenage years, and probably some of you have heard that story before, right? But I came back painting again in 2011. Now, I would have done absolutely nothing with it other than painting for the love of painting, and I was just so thrilled to be actually doing something that I used to love so much, and to have rediscovered it again and discovered that I could still do it again was just such a blessing. So I was happy out. And it was probably about 2014, so I was probably painting about 3 years maybe, when my darling interviewer here was the one to say to me that these are amazing, love, and the world needs to see these. And of course, I'm pretty confident, and most of the time I'm quite social, and in that respect. But when that thought of showing my paintings to the world was almost like, oh no, please, it's just, I felt so vulnerable about it. I felt so like I don't think I could open up like that, because I was afraid I was going to get knocked back, and I was afraid I was going to get shot down or whatever, that. But she got me thinking, and I did. And I did the railings of Stephen's Green in 2014. Was the first time I ever publicly displayed my paintings, which was a massive moment.
5 years you're in business.
Yeah, so it's a massive. So that what I would say would be the starting point, I would say, that way.
So you got over your identity crisis, got your stuff out there, and
so I was presented the world with two hands on my back as a man that just guided me out there.
So safe to say, it's now you're still working on the identity of a business. So if you're new to business, and this is what a lot of my clients are, they have a passion and they decide to go into business. But it takes time to build that identity and accept, to step into that identity and call yourself a business. So another question, what made you decide to go from, well, we kind of covered that, to go from a hobby to selling the art? And I do remember it was difficult at the start for you to let go of the paintings.
That was something, when I first started to sell one or two, I was so emotionally, and like I always say, art comes from your soul. You've heard that expression before, and it really does, because a little piece of you goes into each one. So to let them go at the beginning was just so hard in some ways. It was like, it was like losing something, and yet I was happy at the same time. So it was conflicting emotions in that respect, like, because I was sending them out with love, but at the same time I was going, ooh, they're going, that way. But yeah, so
if you have any questions, there's loads watching, so if you have any questions, pop them in the comments and we can see them and add them in here. So the next question, when you think back to the time when you started to turn your passion into business, what was your biggest challenge?
Oh yeah, okay. There was two big ones, and one was, without doubt, was the confidence issue, like in terms of showing the world my work and showing the world my passion, because it is so personal that it was difficult to overcome that. Like,
I think that's in any
yeah, it's probably in anything.
Yeah,
like, and
you're
a lot of
passionate
people
about something, you do hold it dear to your heart, and it can feel a bit personal.
Yeah. So that was a big thing, like, was getting over that, like, and thankfully I've had such a positive reaction, and the support of people that I've got over the years has just been incredible.
We're on challenges.
Oh, we're on challenges, right? Okay. Okay, but the biggest one, without doubt, the biggest challenge that I was finding back then was time. And time was a massive issue for me, because, like, at the time, like, obviously I'm working full time and still am. Amanda's an entrepreneur and a business lady, and has a lot, and we work together, in our nutrition business as well. Then we had 4 kids on top of that, which comes with all the...
They wouldn't stay in the freezer. We tried to shut them in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
So that comes with all the things that come with kids, like, and football and all that kind of thing. Like, so getting the time to actually paint and do what I loved was really a big challenge. And I remember Patrick Mercer touched on this at a weekend. We will talk about time and how you... what to have a look at. And I looked at everything I was doing in my life, and I asked myself, is this benefiting me? Is this making me happy? Am I getting much fulfillment from this? And there was 2 that came back to me that were massive. And one was TV. I was spending too much time looking at TV, and it really wasn't giving me anything other than crap inside my head, like. And the other one was alcohol. And alcohol was a big one, because we were still quite partying and still going out at the weekend. But I was losing 4 or 5 days of my life every time we went on a night out, which was almost every weekend. Like, so it was probably Thursday, Friday before I was back firing on all cylinders again. And I kind of really had a look at that and said, is that what I want? Like, is this what I want? Like, and it wasn't just in my painting, it was in every aspect. I was so demotivated about everything.
Yeah.
And including playing with my kids. And I'm such a hands-on dad, like, and yet I couldn't drag myself to play with my kids Sunday, Monday. It'd be probably Tuesday before you start feeling normal. So those were 2 things I looked at. And one, I really cut down on TV, cut down on alcohol, to a point now that they're gone. I haven't touched a drop of alcohol in 12 months, and it's had such a massive positive impact on my life that I can't...
So Aileen is asking there, Ian, do you happen to know how creatives can make a profit from their paintings? So hopefully the questions I'm going to ask Ian, you'll start to see, because I said, in any business, and I heard this a couple of years ago, if you're not making profit, is it a business or is it a hobby? So that really hit home to me not so long ago, and that's when I really went to work on systems and coaching myself first, and now I'm coaching clients to do exactly that, Aileen. So the questions that I have for Ian today hopefully will give you an insight to how he grew his business. So there's some of the challenges, and how you said how you overcame them, so you've told us that. So he keeps going ahead of me.
Right.
Finding clients, this might answer your question, Aileen. Finding clients is something most new businesses struggle with. So what has been your experience in building clients? When you're doing something for a hobby or doing something because you love, you don't have to worry about clients. But when it comes to business and you need to get your work out there to the world, and you need to have people who are paying you for your work, this is when a lot of people a lot of my clients come to a standstill then, and they struggle.
Wow, this is where it's most advantageous to marry Amanda Delaney. Because without doubt, this is the area which you have been incredible, like, and Amanda has taught me so much, and has been so much. She's almost coached me along this journey in many ways as well, like, because the whole selling aspect and putting myself out there aspect was something I was really struggling with, like, and that's something that she's been an incredible benefit.
And it's difficult at the start. When I remember doing the Stephen's Green, you did 3 days and you came home with a smile on your face and you were happy, but you hadn't sold a bloody thing.
No.
You know, 3 days of your life, time, as we said, is precious. It waits for nobody.
And you doubt, and then you doubt, am I an artist?
Can I make money doing this?
Yeah, can you make money from this? But do people want this? Do people, see this as something that they want? And I really had doubts, and I did Stephen's Green again 2 years later, and it was exactly the same. I never sold a single solitary painting, but because I had done Stephen's Green, and the on social media, the publicity, if you want to say, that it generated, I sold paintings because of that.
Yeah, off the back of it.
Off the back of it, but not actually on the railings itself, like, that way. But things have only really changed for me personally when it comes to my paintings in the last 18 months, and up until that point, I always doubted, am I an artist? Am I an artist? And that was one question that kept coming back. And am I a fake? Am I, imposter syndrome?
Eva O'Brien's talking about that at the next video.
Yeah. But I doubted, and it never sat properly on my shoulders. And now I've grown into it, and I've grown. It sits on me now that I know I'm an artist. I know.
You're derailing here.
I'm derailing.
Yeah. So we're talking about clients.
Clients. How do they get out there? And that was what the advice was, because I would paint anything, and I was painting. Whether it's horses, I was painting animals, I was painting imaginary scenes in my head, I was painting stories. Like, I loved, and I was really enjoying that. Like, but people, I don't think were connecting. And it was something you really pointed out to me. Like,
this is huge.
People aren't connecting, and that all changed. And another thing was I used to paint completely from imagination.
Yeah.
Never used photos as references or anything else like that. And I felt somehow I had this. I don't even know where I picked it up. Like, I felt almost like I was cheating if I looked at a photograph to paint it. Like, and it's just one of those things where you had to ask yourself: am I benefiting from that, or is that stupid belief holding me back? Like, and
come here. When Ian Delaney gets a belief, oh my God, he's a stubborn. He will not let it go. So coaching somebody who you live with and you're married to and has a stubborn streak is difficult, to say the least.
So it changed then when I did my first ever painting of a specific place was the Cliffs of Moher, and I painted it and used the photo as a reference to get the dimensions and proportions and colours and all that kind of stuff. And I painted this, and this was the first time. And within 2 days, I was contacted by a lovely lady, an American lady who was on holidays here and had seen it on the Facebook page and wanted to buy it. And that was a lady all the way from Pennsylvania, and she met me before she went home and purchased a painting of the Cliffs of Moher. And that was a massive moment, like, in terms of
turning point.
I think, like,
I still remember you coming home with a
quantum
big smile.
shift, going, wow, like, instantly they related with that picture. And why? Because they knew it, they'd just been there, they'd seen it, and they loved the painting, and it was going to trigger a memory for them, and they, if it was on their wall.
Aileen, share away. Anybody watching this that's getting value, just share it out there, because there's plenty of people that have passions that may be thinking about or contemplating putting it out there as a business. So share away if this is going to add value to anybody.
And that was then, from that point on then, I started.
You see, it's evidence. When you get the evidence to say what I'm doing is appreciated, it's valued, you're getting validation that your work is wanted, it's needed, and that you're solving a problem for somebody. So in this case, it was this lady being here, she wanted to take it home with her. She took the Cliffs of Moher home with her to enjoy it on her wall. So if you've got a business, you've solved a problem. When your clients connect and you're solving that problem, you've got the evidence, wherefore your confidence can grow. Right, I'm after knocking that off.
Oh, sorry.
I'm using
that
Ian's
never
phone
happened
as
to
a guide.
Oprah Winfrey show, doesn't it? Sorry.
Okay, so that's building the client base. So I suppose it's getting yourself out there, getting publicity, getting recognition, and making sure that you're solving the problems of your ideal client.
Yeah.
Do you know who your client is? Okay, so what is your top tip when it comes to finding clients? Because you're just amazing.
Everything, like almost everything that I've sold, in any paintings. Is that my top tip? My top tip for social media, is it?
Your top tip for finding clients?
Top tip for finding clients would be, you have to put yourself out there, and everything I've done is through social media, and you put yourself out there and you have to be patient. It wasn't built, for me it didn't happen straight away. And I remember the frustrations on my artist page of, you're getting absolutely no reaction whatsoever. And I remember that again was of benefit, was Amanda saying, no, you need to be patient, you need to be consistent, you need to keep putting things out there. And I kept jumping back onto my own personal page, because I knew there was more followers or more people that would think and would get a bigger reaction. But slowly and steadily, my artist page has grown and grown and grown, which has been
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's great.
So what has been your biggest challenge using social media? Because a lot of people who come to me, they struggle, they really struggle with social media. They know they need to be on it, and yet they have a lot of mindset and a lot of challenges. So what's been your biggest challenge on social media?
Well, getting it to work. Yeah. And getting it to work for you is the biggest challenge of social media. And to do that, you need to probably educate yourself a little bit, or find somebody that can tell you how it works, and some of it was through trial and error, and some of it was through probably a lot of Amanda's studies in that area.
You used to laugh at me when I'd sit up till 3 in the morning watching webinars and listening to people all over the world.
I remember being in a room one day and somebody pointed out Amanda's social media as being an example to
Jerry
everybody.
Duffy.
I think it's Jerry Duffy, yeah. And I remember him saying, Mark Zuckerberg follows Amanda, which I thought was hilarious. But it is, understand what works for you. For example, and just a quick example of that would be that weekends in the evening times is a better time to post things than first thing on a Monday morning, because people are just back on work, they've no time to look at social media, they're busy and so on and so forth. So pick your times as to what you're doing. You don't agree? Well, maybe yeah, I tell
you why I'm gonna disagree with that one. Okay. Is your social media and your audience is different. Every different business has a different audience. You need to test the market.
True.
You need to put it out there at different times and keep a log and test it for yourself. Ian has done this, so he knows what time.
Yeah, that's what works for me, that way. So yeah.
So sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I'm not sorry. Because I want to give you the right information. So test your marketing. Test what's working. Okay. So do you have a system that you use for your business? So businesses.
Yeah, I would now. I would certainly never have in the past. Because
Emer's the expert here, Emer Duffy, and she's
I'm being ganged up on here. This isn't fair.
No, we're just setting you right. It's right for your business.
It works for me,
everybody.
But I suppose everybody is different. It's tailor made, and that's why it's good.
Trial and error, testing.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Do you have a system?
System in place. Yes, I do. I have probably not a polished system, because it's still, as I said, it's still come to grips with the fact that it's a business as opposed to being an artist, and I don't think I'll ever come to grips with that. I will, but it's something. For example, I now have a record of all the paintings I've sold. I have a record of all the people that have bought paintings. I have a record now of everybody that's ever said to me that I'd love to get a painting off you, or somebody that's and there's various stages. Some people have just said it on a whim and said, one day I'm going to come back to you on a painting. Another thing would be that I want to get a painting of such and such a place, so that if I then ever go and I have time, or what am I going to paint, and I want to say pick
and you've done
the Cliffs of Moher, right?
Yeah.
If I pick the Cliffs of Moher, Joe once said to me that he wanted a picture of the Cliffs of Moher off me, so I'll contact Joe and say, look, I'm going to start the painting of the Cliffs of Moher. Is it something you're interested in?
It's lovely, because it shows your clients that you care about them too.
Yeah, so that's probably, the extent of how it works as such,
It flows lovely. It's beautiful to watch, and I love when he connects with his clients in the right way, in conversation style, and it's just beautiful to watch. It shows them that he really cares and he's listening to them. So don't be afraid to set up a system. Systems don't have to be. This is why I call my program Passion to Profit. Most people that have a passion, you know, most of us aren't business skilled, okay? We're not business skilled. And to be honest, in my first few years, anything like that used to either bore me or scare me. So you'll find a system, a simple system like what Ian uses that will work for you. So it's personalise your own system that flows into your life and works. What has been your most successful achievement to date?
In terms of my
your business, your business. He nearly said it.
Slipped out something. The most successful one was probably my solo exhibition last year, and that was really a turning point for me, because really everything changed after that, and that's where the mantle of sitting, you know, and being an artist came from. And that was my first time ever to do a solo exhibition. It was up in Rua Red. And we had a great evening that evening.
Lovely. And thank you to everybody who came that night. It was lovely. Flow of people all night. It was lovely.
It was beautiful. It was really a powerful night for me in so many levels that people probably didn't even realise, like, that were there, how much it actually meant to me. And that was really probably the most successful to date. I have loads of plans. I have loads of ideas as to where I want to go and what I want to do. But everything changed after that, I think, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today, you said that was the exhibition, and I know this is whopper news for somebody who's in business, and I suppose it's a story of hope. What has been your business profit, not your profit, your money obviously, but your turnover? What has been your sales record in the last 18 months? I love this. This is my proudest moment. What is it?
Well, I tell you, up until the exhibition last year, I had sold 9 paintings. So that was 2000, when I started back in 2011 to 2018, I had sold 9 paintings to that point. So it was pretty low key, you know, that was just where I was and what I was doing. From the exhibition on, I massively upped the amount of paintings and output that I'm doing, because I'm loving it so much and I can't put them down. I'm trying to grab every spare minute I can. I have painted.
Many have you sold?
I've sold 34 paintings.
Many have you painted?
Since, and I've painted 38.
Yes, that's results. That's turning your hobby into a business.
Yeah. So of the 38 paintings I've painted since that exhibition, I sold 34 of them, which is incredible. And you've no idea how grateful I am to all the people and all the clients out there that have purchased from me. It is massive. You know, it's just such a
and that's the character, the humble. Never lose the humbleness when your business is flourishing. Stay the same. I'm just going to go back and I know there's a couple of questions here.
Okay.
And then we finish it off. Okay, so Evelyn, have you painted? Oh, this is a good one. Have you painted your vision that you want to manifest into your life just for you to look at? I
have done goal setting before, and I have done vision boards before.
You never painted it,
but I've never painted it, like,
yeah. That's an interesting
one. That is an interesting one, like, you know.
Food for thought there. Yeah. Okay, goes back to the goal mapping where you draw out your goals. Okay, Ruth McCabe. My job is now my passion, but how do I make sure I don't sell myself short in relation to pricing my work? When I pursued my passion a number of years ago, I really sold myself short and picked up a bad injury. I'll just see if I can see more. Bad injury from pushing myself so hard, which at the time threatened me ever getting back. I have no glasses on, to where I am now. Now, the thing I'd say to you there is, Roots, there was lessons for you the first time round. So, you know, it's not a matter of failure, it's a matter of learning. So what have you learned the last time? And it's to not go into them, you know, to make those same mistakes again. It's to learn from them. So there are lessons. What happened there was lessons for you. So it's to make sure that you're charging what you're worth. Charging, you know, Ian has increased his prices because the demand is so high and time is so precious. And obviously the more you paint, the better you get. So it's to look at your business and really look at the hours. It's to get rid of the job mentality. So you're not in a job, you're not working by the hour. You're working all the time around that. You're marketing your business all the other time, your skills, your training. So all of that comes into play. It's not that you're working for an hourly rate. You're in
like,
business.
I once heard actually in relation to painting. I remember hearing one. I can't specifically remember it all, but I remember hearing one day that you're not just buying a painting.
Yeah.
You're buying all the years of staying up late, of years of practice, the years of failures, the years of trial and errors, everything that has gone into it from that day to this, to get that painting.
It's the experience. It's the experience that you're giving the clients as well.
So value that, like.
Value that is suppose value yourself and learn from the lessons in the past. Okay, let's just see. I thought there was one more question there. How can you identify a product or talent to sell? Great question, Paddy. And what I usually find is that people, and myself included, and Ian, it's something that it's in you. You're passionate about doing it. You'd love to do it all day, every day. You do it for free. It's something that people keep, and the signs are there. You know, for me, I'll just give you an example, okay? I've been in business for myself for 15 years, and always working on the side, you know, besides that. And 3 or 4 years ago now, people kept saying to me, Mandy, you should, you know, I was coaching people for the last 9 years in business, but it was in one business. And everybody kept saying to me over and over and over, you should go into business coaching, you should go into business coaching. And I ignored it and I ignored it and ignored it. But what I found was, I was doing it anyway. I was meeting people for a cup of coffee, giving them tips and advice. I'd come home here and I'd say, what were you doing now? Where are you gone now? I was always there to help people. And that wasn't valuing myself. And like what Ruth said there, running myself into the ground and not charging. And when there's no exchange of energy, it doesn't work either. So I'm delighted now that I'm actually stepping into who I was born. I do believe this is my purpose, is to teach and help people. But the coaching, I'm just passionate about it. So look around your... look around.
I think that's the most mild understatement I've ever heard. Passionate about it.
But look around your life. The evidence is there. Where are you spending your time? What are you spending the time that, you know, you love doing it? You do it for free. You do it all day. And what are people telling you? Like, just look for the signs and hopefully you find them. If you need any help, give me a shout, Paddy. Happy to help. And I think that is all the questions.
How are they doing?
10 out of 10. Right, people are on their lunch break and we are young to go back to work. So thanks for watching. If you got value from this, share. Because we want to, it's my big goal is to help people with that passion overcome imposter syndromes and can I call it a business and how do I make money? Do you know, if you love to do something and you're good at something, there's somebody out there that needs your product or service. And I believe in my heart of hearts, and I've had first-hand experience of this, if we don't step into the gifts that we were given and we don't share it with the world, those people that need your help lose out. So don't be selfish. And if you've got something that you're frightened to share with the world, have a chat with me. Get in touch.
I would probably still be painting to this day.
Only for no more room in the wardrobes to keep the paintings.
Unless it was for this lady. So we owe it all in so many ways to her.
Yeah. Passion and good products and service the world deserves to see them. The world deserves to experience them. And if it's not you, who? Somebody's going to do what you have the idea to do. So don't live in regret. Go and follow your passion.
Brilliant.
Right?
Love it.
Thank
no.
Don't normally kiss my guests. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Take care, guys.
Stop by soon. Bye.